The following is a presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports. Live from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison, this is the Chris Ash Show, your chance to talk with the head coach of the Scarlet Knights on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Today's show is brought to you by To be a part of the show, give us a buzz on the Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Now let's go live to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison to talk Rutgers football. Here's the voice of the Scarlet Knights, Chris Carlin.
Welcome, everyone, to Week 3 of the Chris Ash Show. Here at Quaker Steak and Lube, another terrific crowd on hand as we get our chance to talk to the Rutgers coach, and you get your opportunity as well at 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869. That's our telephone number. You can also tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio. And by all means, if you are in attendance here at Quaker Steak and Lube on Route 1 in Edison, come on up front. We will get you on the air. You visit our friend Jimmy in the black shirt, and you get your chance to ask Coach Chris Ash a question as Rutgers prepares for New Mexico this coming Saturday at High Point Solution Stadium. Chris Carlin, along with Eric LeGrand. E, how we doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good to be with you, as always. And the coach coming off his first career win as a head coach, Chris Ash. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great.
That's going to sound pretty nice. Get a chance at your first career win. What was the whole experience like for you? I know in the middle of it, you're not exactly thinking about it, but as you got a chance afterward to look back just personally what it meant to get that first win.
It's great to get any win. It's obviously great to get your first victory. Been asked us a lot about just the experience and the emotions and all that. It really didn't get caught up into much. I was more excited for the players to get a victory and appreciate their preparation and their attitude and their effort during the game. Not happy with the way we played in that game, even though that we won. But it's good to get it out of the way and be 1-1 instead of 0-2.
And Coach, the night before, you don't ever sit back in your hotel and think about your whole career, where you've been at, and now getting a victory. Now you get to say that you got the you want to know whatever. But do you ever think about that as you sit back in the hotel the night before?
No, we didn't sit around at the hotel the night before. We were out recruiting and watching some players play as our players were preparing themselves mentally and physically to get ready for the game. But no, by the time I get done with what I'm doing on a Friday, I'm ready to go to bed, and there's not much thought to what we've accomplished or where we've been and what we're doing.
All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the 52-14 win over Howard this past week. Fell in the hole early, 14-0. They made some plays early. Of course, the turnover, but then 52 unanswered from then on. What didn't you like? What did you like about what you saw?
I really didn't like much of the first half period. We started off bad. We gave up a touchdown on a third down situation. It put us in a hole 7-0. In the very first play on offense, we threw an interception. A combination of things, didn't run the route exactly right. Didn't lead the receiver the right way, so a number of things happened. We got an interception. They scored, and we're down 14-0 right out of the gate. We didn't tackle very well defensively in the first half. We couldn't sustain drives very well in the first half, and finally we settled down at halftime, decided we needed to start to try to win the game at the line of scrimmage and run the football the way we should be able to run the football. And 75 yards later, it was a pretty good day.
And how do you handle that now, talking to the team? Now, you've been on both sides, getting down early and then losing the game and then getting down early and winning the game. How do you handle that, talking to the team?
It's like anything else. You go back and you dissect it. You look at everything that happened through your preparation, leading all the way up until the foot hits the ball and it's kicked off, and then you look at your adjustments and making sure, was your team ready? Was there anything you could do differently? And I look back and our team was ready to go. We just didn't make the plays early on for whatever reason, and we got to continue to research why. But I like the way our team responded, the way they bounced back, and the way they finished the game. And I told the team this after the game, but I told them again on Sunday, there's nothing in the rule book that says you have to score all your points in the first half. That's why you play 4 quarters. And, if we would have started that game saying we were going to win at 52-14, I think everybody would have been very excited about that and said, we'll take it. And it just we scored them in the second half instead of the first.
Couple of things about it. The 375 yards rushing, the most in 9 years since Rutgers rushed for 440 at Army back in 2007. Only allowed 5 yards of total offense in the second half. And you have played now through 2 games, 8 true freshmen this season. First of all, was it just a matter of execution in the second half? You touched on it a little bit, but certainly defensively, things tightened up quite a bit.
Yeah, in the first half, defensively, we got beat on the first touchdown pass. Then we had some leverage problems. We let the ball outside of us a couple times. You can't lose leverage on defense. You got to keep it inside so your pursuit can get there and you can tackle. And we didn't tackle very well. We've spent an insane amount of time trying to improve our tackling. I thought in the first game against Washington, we tackled exceptionally well. I was really pleased coming out of that game, and then disappointed week 2 that we went out and tackled the way that we did. But it's something that we'll continue to work on and constantly do. But, we got our leverage problems fixed. We got back to tackling the way we needed to tackle, and we won the line of scrimmage. We were able to put pressure on the quarterback, too, in the second half.
And as you mentioned, the game is 4 quarters, Coach, and you could tell that Howard team's starting to wear down towards that 4th quarter. You talk about how it is, conditioning the team, getting them ready to play a whole game like that, and the weather like that. It was hot out there.
Yeah, it was hot, but we practiced in a lot of heat throughout the course of training camp. Really, that's what we want to try to pride ourselves on, is being the best conditioned team in the 4th quarter at the end of the game. We think that our offensive system and the way we condition our players will allow us to hopefully win games in the second half like we did Saturday. But very few teams in this day and age have the depth that you want. I don't think there's any coach you talk to say, hey, we have the depth that we want, where we can roll it, the 2 deep throughout the whole game and feel confident about it. But I like the conditioning of our football team. We didn't have cramping problems. We didn't have anybody falling out with the heat. We played a lot of snaps, and excited about that.
Robert Martin makes his season debut, healthy, good to go. What were your impressions?
Happy to have Rob back. Rob's an explosive running back. He runs the ball hard. He runs behind his pads. He can hit a hole and go. He can do some things in the pass game also. We've got to get him more involved in that. But very excited to have him back. He was our starting running back going into training camp until he missed some time due to injury. But he's back and he's healthy, and excited to see him continue to grow and improve.
You see Juwan Harris, another playmaker now, is coming out for you, Coach. You talk a little bit about him?
Yeah, Juwan's kind of an all-around athlete. Really like what he can do in the slot for us. He can, just like Janarian, he can be a wideout, he could be a running back, he could be a quarterback, he could be a kick returner. And I think he's got a really bright future here, and I think he's a perfect fit for our offense. He can do so many things.
37 stolen bases. I mean, you see that kind of number on the baseball field where he led the Big Ten last year as a true freshman. As a football coach, I'm thinking you're probably licking your chops a little bit to get him back out there.
Oh, absolutely. We didn't have him in the spring. Really didn't know much about him other than a few of the workouts that he was at, but really didn't get a great feel for his overall athleticism that we've seen here in training camp. We've seen in the first 2 games. Janarian's a senior. We're going to need the next man up to do the things that he's doing, and hopefully Juwan can continue to develop and be that next big-time playmaker that we need.
All right, we got a chance to get your calls in, your thoughts in. Our telephone number, once again, for Coach Ash is 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. We have our first caller of the night. That is Charlie, who is in Woodbridge. Charlie, you're on the Chris Ash Show. How are you?
Okay, very good. First of all, Coach, great win. But what I wanted to ask you was if you would be kind enough to speak about the Life After Football program. Because I read an article this week that was music to my ears as a parent, and the grade point average is up.
Yeah, last spring we started a program called Life Beyond the Game for our student athletes. And that's our job as a football staff, is to help develop these guys both athletically, and then help set them up for careers when the football is over. And it's all about building a network, giving them the skills that they need to go out and compete in a competitive workforce. And it's an 8-week course that we set up in the off-season to bring speakers in to educate them on the skills that they need, the way they need to dress, the way they prepare for interviews, the way they follow up, and how to build a network of people that help get you started in a career when football's over. And football provides such a huge platform, and we've got to give these guys an opportunity to use that platform for employment and a successful career when it's over.
All right, Charlie, we appreciate the phone call, and it's terrific to see a program like that. You get it worked in with Sean Tucker, the former football player here at Rutgers, who started the Leadership Academy as well, and it really is a nice base to work with when young people are learning about their futures, what the different options are to them, and preparing them for life. That it's not just all about football.
No, it's not, and I think that as a parent, I'd want my son to go to a program that obviously is run the right way and is going to develop them on the field, but make sure they're accountable in the classroom and working towards their degree. But and then the next part of it is helping them get set up for life after football.
And I know the players already have the academic, I guess in position already to be successful. Anything you brought over that you've learned, at different places that you were at for the players to be more successful? As you said, the GPA went up this spring semester. One of the things we do is we meet weekly with our academic people. We go through every player, and they're graded on their attitude and effort towards academics. Everybody has a different academic capabilities, and we're more concerned about guys, their attitude and their effort towards their academics, and if they do that, they're going to have a chance for success and earn that degree. And we grade them on all in those areas every week. We identify any problems and issues that come up, and we make sure that collectively as an organization we get them fixed and we don't let them linger. There's accountability to what we do academically, and motivation. We're going to motivate these guys the best we can to want to go to class and work towards their degree and be successful in all areas.
Let's hit the phones once again, 877-384-1869. Mike is in Cedar Grove, and he is up next here on the Chris Ash Show. Mike.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Doing great.
Coach, congratulations on your first win at Rutgers. Hopefully the first of many, many more to come.
Thank
a lot
you.
of fun being there out there, even though the heat was kind of overbearing. I'm sure you felt it on the sidelines as well.
Yeah, it was hot down on the turf.
You were talking about Harris before, how he's a young breakout player on offense. I think his counterpart on defense could be Damon Hayes. I was watching him when he came in the game, and he really starred. Like he had good eye discipline, good presence, and for a young defensive back, that's pretty impressive. Can you tell us a little bit more about Damon Hayes and what his role will be going forward?
Yeah, Damon Hayes is one of the freshmen that I've been really impressed with. He's got great size for his position. He's got great feet, great athletic ability. He's tough. He goes extremely hard. He's got good football intelligence. And I really am impressed with him. We can do a lot of things with him. He's playing corner right now, but he can play corner. He can play safety. He's on a lot of special teams for us right now. Just goes hard, and he's tough, and studies the game and plays the game the way we want it to be played, and very excited about his future.
And Coach, as we mentioned, freshman Chris said earlier, you have 8 of them already that have played. Do you have that already planned into when you want to get them in the game, or is that a week-to-week thing?
No, we really had no plan until we got a chance to work with them during training camp. And through the course of 4 weeks in training camp, we identified the guys that we thought gave us the best chance to win on offense, defense, and special teams. And just so happened that 8 of those freshmen, those young guys, we are really excited about. And they go hard. They have good football IQ, like I was talking about with Damon. They're helping us a lot on special teams right now. I was looking at the kickoff team as we're getting ready to go into this game, and there's a lot of them on the kickoff team, of the starting 11 on the kickoff team. I think 8 of them are probably first-year players right now, and that's not necessarily by design, but that's who we've got, and we think they give us the best chance to go down and be successful on that unit and other units. So I'm excited about them, all that group of freshmen and what they can do down the road in the future.
We're going to get more of your calls in just a little bit at 877-384-1869. You can also tweet your questions at Rutgers Radio. And if you're in attendance here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison on Route 1, by all means, come on up front and we will get you on the air. I want to welcome our friends from 1450 WCTC, our longtime partner on the Rutgers Radio Network. Been with us for so many years. And everybody who's come on down tonight to Quaker Steak and Lube, we're just getting started. We've got questions more about freshmen in just a moment for Coach Ash, including the freshman quarterback who got a little bit of an opportunity to play the other day as well. Rutgers in New Mexico this Saturday at noon at High Point Solution Stadium. We're coming back in just a moment right here on the Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Hey, Chris Carlin here, and as the voice of your Rutgers Scarlet Knights, I see the fans' passion for our hometown team come to life every Saturday in the fall. UPS shares this same passion for helping businesses turn a challenge into a solution, because they're not just in the shipping business, they're in the problem-solving business. Visit ups.com/solvers to see how UPS can help your team find the winning formula. UPS, official logistics company of Rutgers Athletics.
Introducing the Rutgers Fan Exchange, powered by Tick City. Can't make it to a game and don't know what to do with your tickets? Looking for the best deals on the biggest games? Buy and sell tickets for all Rutgers home games through the Rutgers Fan Exchange, the only place to find seats from within the trusted Rutgers community. And you control the price. Every order helps support Rutgers athletics. Visit the Rutgers Fan Exchange at rutgersfanexchange.com.
Looking for a place to watch all the Rutgers football action? Enjoy the games with fellow Scarlet Knights fans at these Rutgers Athletics official watch party locations: Hoboken's Cadillac Cantina, Tom's Rivers Baker's Water Street Bar and Grill, Freehold's Moore's Tavern and Sports Bar, Monroe Township's Baker's American Bar and Grill, and Quaker Steak and Lube's 3 locations in Edison, Brick, and Phillipsburg. For more information on the official watch party locations, please visit scarletknights.com.
Welcome back to the Chris Ash Show. Got a question for Coach? Dial us up on the Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Nissan, proud partner of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Innovation that excites. Now, back to the voice of the Scarlet Knights, Chris Carlin.
We have returned to Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, New Jersey for this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show as Rutgers prepares for the New Mexico Lobos this Saturday, 12 noon at High Point Solution Stadium. A couple of more questions based off of the win this past week over Howard. And we were talking about freshmen. And, Coach, you know that the most popular topic is always going to be around the quarterback. And the idea that you never know exactly who you're going to get a chance to see. You got Giovanni Ruscino in for a series and 2 plays and a touchdown. That's not too shabby at all. And then Tylen Oden, your freshman quarterback, you played a couple of series as well, and that's always going to open the eyes of the fans because I think some had assumed that it was a possibility that he might redshirt this year, even though you had never said that directly. So take us inside the decision to have Tylen get an opportunity to play.
Well, he continues to improve every single practice that we go out there. He's learning the offense more and more, and just felt like the situation of the game was the right time to get him in and give him an opportunity to show what he can do. We want to be able to do that as the year goes on. He obviously is a guy that we're looking at as a potential quarterback of the future and fits what we want to do offensively, but he has to be ready. And we thought that it was a great time to get his feet wet and give him a chance to go out there and play, and we thought he did an excellent job. Now, we didn't ask him to do a whole lot other than run, and he ran scared, which was great. But excited about Tylen and his continued development and his improvement that he's making every day. Been asked about a plan to play him down the road. There's really no set plan, but we'll continue to play him as he the week of preparation, how that goes, he'll have an opportunity to get in based on the situation of the game.
And that's what I was going to ask you, Coach. Someone like him who got in the game and ran the ball did well. You know, when it comes to preparation during the week, there's not that many plays that get played, and you got to take advantage of the ones that you do get. How is it implementing him into the practice system and, you know, trying to get everybody the right amount of plays so you can get your guys out there, but also you want to get them off the field too?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Eric. It's a challenge to get quarterback reps, enough reps throughout the course of the week to feel like they're game ready on Saturday, let alone get 2 or 3 of them ready. But he gets a lot of reps on our scout team, and he takes reps on 7-on-7 with our one offense, so he's on the field all the time. And just through the cumulative reps of everything he's doing, we've been very impressed with him.
How about Giovanni Ruscino? 2 plays, so there's not much to say. He scored a touchdown with tremendous athleticism. We know he has that, but where have you seen him really grow and improve so far?
Really his confidence level. He's become a much more confident player. He's become a better leader. He's been more vocal. He's studied the offense and learned the offense better, so he plays faster, makes better decisions. Really like what I've seen out of him over the last really 5 months. When we got done with spring practice, just didn't know enough about him. There wasn't a big enough sample to make a judgment one way or the other. And what he did over the summer and what he did through the course of training camp, been very impressed with him.
And with these young guys, Coach, that don't have that much playing opportunity, can you talk about how important it is for them to stay ready, because you never know what can happen in a game, and it's their opportunity to shine?
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to have the next man in mentality. They're just one play away from being a starter. We don't talk about them being backups. You're one play away from being a starter, and you have to prepare that way. Just like the quarterback position for all positions, if you are a backup, you may not get enough reps throughout the week, and it's the mental reps that are very important, and they're standing behind their position, they're going through the motions, they're going through their reads, they're going through their reactions, and getting those mental reps that are very important that lead for their opportunity to be successful on game day.
Couple of questions on Twitter. Again, you can tweet us at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio. First one is from Margaret, who took notice of something before the game, and one of the traditions that's been established, and your own little twist on it too. Love the new look at the Scarlet Walk, Coach. Players were very engaging, looked classy. Will that look continue all season?
I would assume she's talking about the coat and tie that all of our players were in. That will continue. That's the way that we will travel to game days, whether it's home or away. I believe showing up at the stadium, we're going to work. It's a business trip, and we're going to look like a first-class organization. And I think the players enjoy it, and I agree with her. I think they look sharp.
And, Coach, I want to ask you, when it comes to making up traditions and things like that, how does that go about in planning, you know, getting together with the guys and saying, all right, we're going to wear this, or we're going to do this at this point? You know, how is it when it goes to making up your own traditions?
Well, when we talk about things to wear, there were 2 things that really kind of non-negotiable. It's new uniforms. They were already kind of in the works when we got here. We made
Thank
some
you, by the way.
alterations.
Thank you, because I couldn't see the numbers at all, and had to apologize to a couple of kids last year when I called the wrong number.
Yeah, well, there are a lot of things that I've been talked to about since I've gotten here, and that's probably the number one thing with the uniforms. And when I talk about the uniforms, it was the numbers, but they were already in the works, and we just made some adjustments to them when we got here to fit us, and really I like the way we look. I think we look sharp out on the field, and I think the fan reaction has been very positive. But the other non-negotiable was the suit and tie, or the coat and tie, and how we were going to take the field or go to the stadium on game day. But in terms of other traditions, there are some great traditions that are in place here at Rutgers already that we won't mess with. Other new traditions that will start are probably some things that I've been exposed to from other places that I've worked or always wanted to try to maybe implement when I got a chance to be a head football coach. And we're doing a lot of those things in a lot of different areas, but some of it is just by my choice and what I want to do, and some of it is with conversation with the players and how they would feel or react or think about doing this thing or that thing. So it's a combination of just what I've wanted to do or been exposed to, and a little bit of player input also.
Another question on Twitter, at Rutgers Radio. Gary Funari asking, Coach, have there been any conversations about potentially using Juwan Harris and Janarian Grant together in packages, reverses, sweeps, etc.? Well, without giving away any secrets.
Yeah, here, let me call up Bob Davey and see him the game plan. I'm sure he would appreciate it. But, you know, we sit as a staff and we talk about who our playmakers are on offense. And if you went through, you know, the top 6, 7, guys on offense right now that we would consider our top playmakers that we've got to get the ball to, If they're at the same position, then we have to be creative with what we're doing to get those guys on the field together, whether it be Josh Hicks, Rob Martin, Juwan Harris, Engineering Grant. Those are some of our better playmakers, and we have to be creative in the sets and the formations and the personnel packages and the plays that we use to get the ball distributed to those guys as much as we can.
I asked you about it after the game the other day, but after going back and watching it, Janarian's touchdown run where he changed fields and also got a block from Chris Laviano on the way there. So what did you see on tape after that play, as that play developed?
Well, it was a play that went to our offense's left. They brought some pressure from that side and cut the play off. And I thought, standing on the sideline, it was going to be a negative yardage play, and we were going to have to punt the ball. I think it was a third down. And before you know it, Janarian Grant reverses field, and Chris is on the other side, and he sees him coming, and he set up the defender perfectly and laid him out with the block. And next thing you know, Janarian's down the sideline for a score. So it was an impressive play, and it was one that it was a broken play at the start that Janarian, and with Chris's block and some other offensive players helping, turned into a positive play that scored a touchdown.
I know Janarian wasn't involved in the offense as much last year as he is this year, Coach. But how is it preparing for someone like a player like him who can do exactly? You bring pressure from one side, you got him dead to rights, and all of a sudden he just puts his foot in the ground with a hand and turn around and just goes 56 yards for a touchdown. What is that like defending for a defensive coordinator?
It's sleepless nights for a defensive coordinator. when you got a guy that you think you have bottled up, but he has the elusiveness, the quickness, and really just the awareness to be able to get out of tight spots the way that he can, and the way he can stop and restart on a dime is very impressive. He had another touchdown run where he did just that. He's going to the left, he stops, cuts back to the right. A couple defenders almost fall down, and he gets vertical, and he's off to the races again. But, yeah, you have sleepless nights as a defensive coach and even a special teams coach, and you think about kicking the ball to him. I would assume right now that after the first couple games and the kickoff returns that he's been able to put together, some people are going to be questioning what they're doing on their kickoffs.
We got a couple of more calls. Let's get to them right now at 877-384-1869. Stephanie is in Hoboken, and she is up next on the Chris Ash Show. Stephanie, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
We're great.
Cool. So my question for Coach Ash. Hi, I went to Rutgers, and I'm going to my first game of the season this Saturday, and I'm super excited. And I just wanted to know, what did you think of the home game atmosphere for your first home game this last weekend?
I thought it was great. I didn't, honestly, I was telling Chris this earlier, I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it once the game got started. Came out of the tunnel, looked around, and it's just cool to be in your home stadium. And for the first time, it was a great experience. There was a lot of energy in the stadium. We want more fans there. It wasn't a sold-out crowd. We'll get to that point. But the fans that were there were very enthusiastic and created a lot of energy. I was really excited about the student section that we had. And as we continue to go through the season, we got a very good football team coming in New Mexico this week. We've got more coming in with the Big Ten schedule down the road. I would expect it to be an electric crowd and great game day environment, but just an overall great time for a family to come and spend the afternoon or evening there at High Point Solution Stadium.
Well, my friends and I will all be there this whole season cheering everyone on.
Great. I appreciate the support.
Thank you, Stephanie, for the call. We appreciate it. And, you've been here before on the other side, so you know what that atmosphere can be. You've been here with Arkansas and with Ohio State.
Yeah, and that was one of the things that I was really excited about with this job, that if you can create that type of game day environment every Saturday, you're going to have, I think, a tremendous home field advantage in a place that opponents are not going to want to go play at. And that's really the challenge. That's the goal, is to build a football team that everybody is really excited about, that they show up and they sell at the stadium and they're enthusiastic every single game that we play here at home. And if we do that, I think we can create a tremendous environment that gives a home field advantage.
And that's what I wanted to ask you about, that challenge, Coach, accepting that role and wanting to build that here and have that. Because, big games, that was always sold out. But having it sold out week in and week out, Coach, how is that, as a person, how do you take that on as a challenge?
Well, it starts with the product that we put on the field. Everybody wants to cheer for a winner, a competitive football team. And as we continue to build that and continue to improve as we go along this season, I think that excites fans. And when they hear about the type of time that other fans have at the game and the way the team competes and plays, that more people are going to want to come. And that's really what it's about. Our administration has done a great job of trying to create, pre-game and during the game, in-game and post-game, activities for people to enjoy. But at the end of the day, we've got to put a good product on the field, and people will be really excited about coming to our stadium and seeing our team play, and that's what it's all about.
We'll step aside. We've got a couple of more calls to come, so Joe and Chad are on the line right now. Sit tight. We'll get to you in just a few moments. More of your questions, if you're in attendance here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison, come on up front, get your question in for the coach. We'll take a break. More coming on the Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
Don't just say you're a diehard fan, show it. Nissan's giving you the chance to win a custom-wrapped 2017 Titan, decked out in your school's official colors. To enter, go to diehardfan.com/sweepstakes, and you can turn your garage into the ultimate fan cave. Nissan Titan, take on game day. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Starts 9/1/16 at 12:0001 a.m. EDT and ends on 10/23/16 at 11:59 p.m. EDT. Open to residents of the USDC. 18 and over. Official rules visit www.diehardfan.com/sweepstakes. Sponsor Nissan North America, Inc.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
We live in an exciting time for medicine. Breakthroughs happen every day. The higher we raise the bar, the more we push ourselves to jump over it. Welcome to RWJ Barnabas Health. From clinical trials that are making cancer a thing of the past, to mapping the brain and seeing the future of neuroscience. From the latest in heart transplants to planting community gardens, we're enhancing the health and wellness of the millions of people we serve. With more than 41,000 medical professionals, 11 acute care hospitals, 4 children's hospitals, dedicated researchers, and partnerships with medical schools, we're delivering better health together to New Jersey, to Bayonne in Atlantic City, Livingston, Edison and Princeton, urban farms in Newark, family fitness trails at the Jersey Shore, and especially to you. Join us, and working together, your life will be healthier too. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together. Visit rwjbhinfo.org.
Welcome back to the Chris Ash Show. Got a question for Coach? Dial us up on the Nissan call-in line at 877-384-1869. That's 877-384-1869. Nissan, proud partner of college athletics. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Innovation that excites. Now, back to the voice of the Scarlet Knights, Chris Carlin.
We continue with our second half hour of the Chris Ash Show right here on ScarletKnights.com, on RVision, and on 1450 WCTC in New Brunswick. We're at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison. We're going to continue on our telephone lines. Our Nissan call-in number is 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869. Joe in North Brunswick is up next on the Chris Ash Show. Joe, how are you?
Hey, guys. Coach, a couple questions on the in-game experience. At least since 1990, we've had the alma mater played before the game. What's the reason for the elimination of that? And the other question is, any way we can lower the scoreboard volume a little bit in between the plays? It's very, very loud. One family next to me actually left during the game because it was too loud for their kids. Is there any way we can get the scoreboard turned down?
Well, there are a lot of things that I like to try to control, but the singing of the alma mater before the game is higher up than me, and the scoreboard volume is probably another one that is out of my job description, but I'll bring it up to the appropriate people and see if we can do something about it. But I apologize for that, but hopefully you guys continue to come back, but I really don't have much to do with either one of those two things.
You know, overall, I've seen so many families that have been able to really enjoy the experience. You kind of touched on it briefly, but when it comes to an opportunity to go out on a Saturday afternoon. We've had a lot of earlier games this year too, and continue to a couple of more noon starts this week and then next week as well. Really a nice chance for families to get out together, and at the same time, affordable kind of works together. I think when you look around at a lot of the professional sports teams, Eric, in the area, you get priced out of it sometimes, and it doesn't seem like that's nearly as much the case.
Yeah, that's the truth. You know, being around here, it's not a cheap ticket for sure, a lot of these games. So coming out to a Rutgers game on a Saturday, I think it's perfectly fits for a family. You have a great time at the game.
Do you like playing the early games? Do you like the 12 noon games just from a standpoint of kind of get up, eat, and play?
I love the noon games.
Yeah.
To be honest with you. Yeah.
Your favorite?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was at Wisconsin, we had a lot of 11 a.m. games. I loved them. As a football coach, when the game is over, you got some time the rest of the day to actually be a human being. So I do enjoy them. There's something special about night games, too, and I like the big-time night game. And we'll have some of those coming up here at home down the road. But I love the noon kickoff.
When you talk about being a human being, Coach, do you actually get to watch other players, or you actually get to enjoy some time with the family, like some old players maybe that are playing that you used to coach, or you get to just go out with the family?
Well, let me tell you what our Saturday night consisted of after we won this first game. Went home, family was all asleep, and I sat there and watched TV and watched some other football games. So we celebrated big time.
Let's get to another phone call at 877-384-1869. That is Chad. He is in North Brunswick. Chad, what's going on?
Hey, Chris. How you doing, Coach?
Doing great.
How you doing, Eric?
Good.
My question is about special teams. Through the first two games, I noticed that on kickoffs, our opponents are fielding the ball at the 10, 15-yard line, and that kind of is a recipe for disaster. We saw it in the Washington game. What could happen when you don't get kicks deep into the end zone. Coach, are you concerned about that? And are the kickers doing anything to try and get the ball deeper so the guys can field the ball maybe in the end zone?
Yeah, I'm very concerned about that. Anytime that we can change the field position because of the way we kick off and we cover, it puts your defense in better position. Unfortunately, right now we're not in that situation. We continue to work on it every day. We got a freshman kicker out there. Jared is a true freshman, and he works extremely hard on trying to improve not only his distance but hang time on the kickoffs. And right now he's our guy. He's what we have, and he's working extremely hard to be the best kicker that he can be. And we're trying to, work our kickoff coverage, to try to get him down and pin him inside the 25-yard line consistently. And that hasn't necessarily happened yet this year, but we are working on it. And yeah, it is a huge concern of mine. And because as a defensive coach, you want to pin them in as much as you can. And when the balls are being caught, on the 10-yard line or close to the 15, there's not much hang time. Your coverage is not down there, and it's a recipe for disaster. You're exactly right.
How much of it is based for a kicker on leg strength, technique, all of the above? I mean, I guess when you look at it, you see guys, for instance, in golf, same kind of swing. You see sometimes the guys that are a little bit lankier with their legs might have an opportunity to hit the ball a little bit farther. Sometimes you're curious if that's the same case with kicking as well, where you have a little more flexibility to you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I don't know about the flexibility. I'm not a kicker, but I do know that leg strength is a big part of it. Technique is a big part of it, and then just overall confidence is another one. That's the mental part of it for a kicker is probably just as important as anything else. They've got to have confidence and faith and belief in themselves and their technique and what they're doing, in front of a stadium full of people. And that's usually the difference between the great ones and the average ones is the mental part of it. But, I like our guys and the way they work, and they're working to not only increase their leg strength but improve their technique so they can do the best they can for us.
I was going to ask, Coach, can you talk a little bit about on special teams on kickoff, how you usually do have like two levels? You have your guys that get down there beforehand and you guys that fall back, and how sometimes that can be messed up when you do kick it to the 10 or 15-yard line.
Yeah, we really kind of have what we consider three waves to our kickoff. We have some missiles. The guys are ball guys that go straight to the ball. And then we have it kind of set up like defense, where we have a front wave of guys, and then we have a second level of guys that are really our linebackers of our kickoff cover unit. And you got to let that develop, and usually it requires a certain type of kick to make that happen. And sometimes we're getting it, sometimes we're not, but we'll get there. We'll get better at it, and I promise you we're working hard at it. This week we've done kickoff every day this week, and never done that any time in my career, but we've done it every day this week, and we'll do it tomorrow, and we'll do it Friday also to continue to try to make it better.
Got a couple of questions on Twitter for Coach Ash. You can tweet us at Rutgers Radio. Kristen with a question. Coach, any timeline on when Kamoko Toure will be available to play?
There's no set time on when he will be back and be able to participate completely. I think we're getting closer to that. We just had a lengthy conversation about Kamoko today and where he's at. But I'm hoping that he'll be back here relatively soon, but there's no set date that, hey, by this date, this game, he will be out there and able to play. But I think we're getting closer.
James wants to know about coming out early, struggling in the first quarter, the first couple of games so far. So from a coaching standpoint, how can you reverse that?
You go back again. I mentioned it before. You go back and you look at everything that you do in the organization through the week, and especially when you get to Friday night and Saturday morning before a game, to make sure that you guys are in the right frame of mind and have the right type of energy and juice and are ready to go. And I'm completely confident in our preparation and our approach to get that done. We just have to continue to execute better early on in games. Washington, we started slow, but I think it had a lot more to do with Washington than it did with us. That was a very good football team, veteran football team that was fast, and we just honestly weren't ready for that speed. Howard, it was a different scenario. We just didn't execute very well, and I'm really disappointed by that. And we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we're ready to go as we move forward, because we can't put ourselves in a hole like we did down 14-0 before we even really get started. Like we did last Saturday, and expect to win games.
877-384-1869, 877-384-1869. We've got time for your phone calls. By all means, get on the lines. Tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio, and come on up front if you're here at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison on Route 1 for this week's edition of the Chris Ash Show. We'll take a break, come back, talk about the New Mexico Lobos under the former Notre Dame head coach Bob Davie. That when we return on the Chris Ash Show.
We have a new player on the field, and he's ready for kickoff with a delicious ice-cold Coca-Cola and the kick. Ice giving him a little trouble as a few cubes shake loose. He's probably going to pour it here, and he does. The glass is full. Can he go all the way? He did it! Oh, wow! And just listen to that fizz! That might have been the most refreshing thing that I've ever seen. Whew. Coca-Cola. Taste the feeling.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
This commercial is brought to you by Brother International, the makers of fax printers, multifunction printers, scanners, sewing and embroidery machines. Brother is always at your side.
You can make business cards with your name, print from hiking, hang in frames, sew some shades, block the sun, keep out creepy peeping toms. With Brother at your side, always good times. You got a brother at your side, and whatever follows always ends up in good times. You can make a basket cover for your cat, another for his brother, so they both match. No more mess, make the best label, all relieve that stress. Brothers always undercover and always around. 106 years, better keep on counting. You got a brother at your side, and whatever follows always ends up in good time. With a brother at your side, with a brother at your side.
The Chris Ash Show continues on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Now back to Quaker Steak and Lube with the voice of the Scarlet Knights, Chris Carlin.
Plenty of time for you to get your questions in for Rutgers head football coach Chris Ash as the Scarlet Knights prepare to host the New Mexico Lobos this coming Saturday at 12 noon at High Point Solution Stadium. The Lobos 1-1 on the season. They are coming off a 32-31 loss to New Mexico State in the Rio Grande rivalry. First time in 5 years that they have lost to their rivals, New Mexico State. New Mexico out of the Mountain West Conference under former Notre Dame head coach Bob Davie, and they run the spread option on offense. First of all, with Coach Davie, you know it's going to be a well-coached team, so what do you see on tape from the Lobos?
Exactly that. I know Coach Davie from my time at Ohio State. He was close friends with Coach Meyer. They worked at Notre Dame together. He came out to visit and was able to build a relationship with him, and he's an outstanding person, a tremendous football coach. And they are a well-coached football team. They run the ball. They play good defense. He's built that defense up from basically scratch since he's gotten there, and they're playing at a high level. You know, right now they're an attacking, aggressive defense. They get a lot of TFLs, but I also think there's some explosive plays that can be made there against them. And then obviously offensively they're running the ball. You mentioned the triple option, very hard to defend. In the last probably 4 years, they've been one of the leading rushing offenses in the country.
And can you talk about how disciplined some of these players have to be defending that type of offense? I know it's not the same as the academies, but just your eye discipline and things like that for your defense.
Yeah, it's very difficult. You got to be extremely focused and disciplined. You got to understand that your responsibility and your role in the option, who has the dive, who's the inside part of the quarterback, who's the outside part of the quarterback, who has the pitch. You got to make sure your eyes are in the right spot for play action passes because these teams run. Next thing you know, they score on a pass, and it's because of an eye violation. Your eyes are in the wrong spot. You got to be able to use your hands and keep your feet because cut blocks are all over the place with offenses like this, and that's one of the reasons they have success because defenders are on the ground instead of on their feet. So there's a lot that goes into it, and we have to play extremely sound, disciplined football and do it consistently for 4 quarters this Saturday. And
I've seen it before described by others as somewhat like a fast break in basketball. Is that fair? How would you describe it in that regard?
I'll be honest with you, I really don't know
what
somebody would be talking about.
Yeah,
the triple option, fast break in basketball, I don't know. But
I guess just from the standpoint that it can
one's with the football, and one's with the basketball, and one's trying to go up a court, and one's on a field. So I guess
I'm pinning this on somebody else because I read it. But
hey, whatever, Chris, it's your show. So
well,
that's awesome.
With the fact that it is spread, and maybe the backs in the backfield don't hit the line as quickly, it is at least seemingly a little bit different from what Eric was talking about with the academies and the way they run.
It is. They're not under center. They're in the gun. They have more formations. I think they're more multiple than what the academies are that run the triple option. I think they present more problems. They typically can throw the ball a little bit better also. So it is triple option football. It's like calling spread offenses all the same. They're not all the same. Each one of them is different, and it's no different with the triple option. They're not all the same. They're different, and I think these guys present more challenges than what the traditional academy type of triple option offenses do.
I know you just said Coach Davies has built this defense up from the bottom. Can you talk about some of the challenges that they present for you guys on that side?
Yeah, they're an attacking, blitzing defense. They operate mostly at an odd front. The first 2 games we played an even front, which means there's 4 defensive linemen. These guys operate with 3 defensive linemen, cover up the center. They bring a lot of double-edge pressure off the edge. They play a lot of man-to-man coverage in the secondary. So it's an aggressive scheme. They're going to get some sacks. You're going to get some TFLs. But like I said, when you play that style of defense, there also are chances to get some explosive plays too, to put some points on the board. But it is a challenge, and they'll come after us. That's what they've been doing the last couple of years, and first couple games are no different.
They do have 8 sacks in the first 2 games of the year. They forced 3 turnovers, and on the offensive side, Terrion Gibson, the running back, 12.2 yards per carry so far this season. Had a very big game, I believe, in week 1 in their win over South Dakota. And their quarterback, Austin Apodaca, has rushed for 115 yards so far through 2 games and completed 61% of his passes nearly 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. How about Apodaca, Coach, what you've seen from him?
It's really a dual threat quarterback. He can run it. He can beat you with his feet. He's got a good arm. He can beat you in the throw game. And he's definitely going to be a big challenge. And all the things I talked about with the discipline and accountability and doing our job on every option play, we have to account for the quarterback. And then we've got to do a great job with our eyes and reading our play-action pass responsibilities and not let guys get behind us because he can beat you with his arm. When
you have to deal with a dual-threat quarterback, coach, and sometimes maybe have a spy on him, does that really take you out of your defense from what you really want to do?
Not necessarily just spying on him. I mean, we have to defend this type of a option, there are certain defensive structures that are better than others, and it does force you kind of go away from what you normally do, so we are doing that. And that's what most people do. They have an option defense that they run. But we're not necessarily spying him, but we have to have 2 people accounted for him. Like I said, an inside the quarterback player, so if he ducks it up, and an outside quarterback player, so if he runs the option and tries to stretch the width of the field, you got to make sure you got him bottled up.
With their blocking schemes, with the cut blocking that you have to deal with in it, is the biggest challenge for guys on the line and the linebackers especially getting off those blocks?
Yeah, you have to be able to defeat the blocks to be able to stay on your feet so you can go run and make a tackle. And usually what happens on defense when you get cut, it gets back to eyes. You're usually looking at the ball or the ball carrier instead of looking at the blocker that you have to defeat. And next thing you know, he goes down late and he cuts you, and you're on the ground. And we have to avoid those scenarios as much as we can.
Anything stick out to you on the special teams for them?
They're very well coached. Yeah, I'm sure there's head coach involvement on their special teams, the way that they're coached and the players that they use on their special teams. They've been good in the return game because of the players they have back there. They cover well, so they're very well coached.
All right, we've got to take one more time out. We've got a couple of more minutes for you. You're going to get a chance to ask Coach Ash a question at 877-384-1869, 877-384-1869. Also, tweet your questions at Rutgers Radio. We've got a couple of more of those to come. Just going to make a note here, not like fast break in basketball. All right. We're back with more in a moment on the Chris Ash Show.
Need a place to watch all the pro games? Look no further than Quaker Steak and Lube, Best Wings USA on Route 1 in Edison. 50 TVs, great game day specials starting at just $2, and the best wings in the USA with over 25 different wing sauces. Enjoy our outdoor patio and bar that's open all year round, even in the winter. Give us a call, 732-777-WING. We cater events of any size, dining in or to go. Quaker Steak and Lube, 561 Route 1 in Edison, 732-777-WING.
When you're looking for tickets to that sold-out event, there's only one place to go. TickCity.com, the official secondary ticket partner of Rutgers Athletics. Scarlet Knight fans can save 10% on all orders when you use the discount code Rutgers at checkout. From sporting events to the hottest concerts, Broadway and family shows across the country, all your ticket needs are covered at your fan-friendly ticket source. TickCity.com. That's TickCity.com.
The Chris Ash Show returns after this local timeout. This is the Rutgers IMG Sports Network.
Train smart, play hard. The Scarlet Knights know what it takes to win on the field and off, so they work harder with the help of the high-quality protein of Dual Fuel. Developed in partnership with Rutgers strength and conditioning coaches, Dual Fuel performance bars and shakes provide elite athletes with the fuel they need to power through the toughest workouts. Give your body what it needs to take on the competition with Dual Fuel. Dual Fuel bars and shakes, an official nutrition partner of Rutgers Athletics. Available at campus retailers or at rutgers.dualfuelnutrition.com.
When it comes to football, you want your favorite players to stay healthy and on top of their game. Well, AmeriHealth New Jersey wants the same thing for its members and their families. That's why AmeriHealth New Jersey believes the more you know about your insurance options, the less stress you'll feel. No one cares more about keeping New Jersey healthy, and no one is doing more to keep rates affordable. AmeriHealth New Jersey has you covered. Learn more at AmeriHealthNJ.com. AmeriHealth New Jersey is a proud partner of Rutgers Athletics.
Eight 877-384-1869. 877-384-1869. That is our Nissan call-in line. telephone number. You can also tweet us your questions for Rutgers head football coach Chris Ash at Rutgers Radio. That's at Rutgers Radio. Scarlet Knights and New Mexico this coming Saturday at High Point Solution Stadium, a 12 noon kick. A couple of other interesting questions we have gotten on Twitter, Coach. Let's see here. I had one specifically about New Mexico from someone who watched the game. This is R.U. Tax Esquire. Coach, I watched the New Mexico versus New Mexico State game. What is with the three backs lined up behind their quarterback in some formations? How can that be defended? They line them up in a pistol sometimes, right?
The quarterback is behind the center, and they've got two running backs, and a tight end stacked behind the quarterback. And really it's about creating deception because now they can run their plays either direction. And instead of having a back or a tight end offset to one side or the other, where you have some indicators potentially of where they might be running the ball, having them all stacked behind the quarterback does create deception and confusion for the defense, and may slow you down a little bit until they disperse and you have an idea where they're going.
And does that allow you to bring more guys in the box, Coach, when you line up like that, or is it I guess harder to defend when you have more guys in the backfield like that?
They always are going to have three guys in the backfield. I want to say always, probably 90% of their reps are going to be with three backs in the backfield in some sort of configuration. That one just happens to be three guys stacked behind the quarterback. Most of the time there's two offset on either side of the quarterback and a guy up in what we call a tuck position behind an offensive tackle that could go either direction. But you need to get more guys to up in the box and be able to defend the run anytime you got three backs back there.
Now, this question is not related to the game this week, but it was part of the news this week from Let's Go RU. The doubleheader announced in the Bronx for Rutgers wrestling and Rutgers football at Yankee Stadium, and that is going to be next year. And it is, in front of me, I don't have exactly what we're calling it, but it is exciting because you've got a similar thing this year, a battle at the birthplace with Princeton and Rutgers wrestling as well. But Coach, your thoughts on giving up a home game to Maryland at Yankee Stadium? It's a unique environment. We've been there a few times before, to be sure.
Yeah, it's something that's been in the works for several years here at Rutgers. I think an agreement was struck a while ago before myself or Pat Hobbs was ever here. And we're going to embrace it. We're going to go make it a great environment and make it a lot of fun for Rutgers fans. And it'll be a unique experience, one that a lot of people do when you play at a neutral site like that, and to play at Yankee Stadium. It should be a good time. But in terms of the home game, moving it there, and that was something that was done quite a while ago.
But during the off season, in getting ready for that, kind of promoting it, you had a chance to go to Yankee Stadium and throw out the first pitch. What was that like?
It was pretty impressive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I threw a strike. If you looked at a video of Pat Hobbs and I throwing the pitch out together, mine was much better. So, just Pat, if you're listening, just remember that.
I like it.
Is that intimidating?
I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I was nervous. I had surgery on my shoulder last summer, so I can't throw very well.
Yeah.
So Pat and I were down in the dugout warming up before we went out there because neither one of us wanted to look like a fool. Only one of us did, though.
Oh.
I won't mention any names.
Wow.
Pat was here last week. He's kind of one of the. I'm starting to figure him out. He comes, early. And he's one of those front runners. I'm kidding. It's easy to roast a guy when he's not in the room anymore. So hopefully you're listening, Pat. He'll be back on the show and he'll get me.
That is great. Was that the first time you were in the Yankee Stadium, Coach?
In the new Yankee Stadium, yes. I've been in the old one when I worked at Princeton back in 1997. I'd gone to a Yankees game one time, but other than that, this was the first time.
All right, Coach, before we let you go, your keys this week for your football team to get their second win of the year against New Mexico. What are you looking at?
Well, just like last week, it's really about us.
Mm-hmm.
We have to come out and we have to start faster than what we have in the last couple games. We have to execute better. Defensively, we have to defend the option extremely well and limit explosive plays. Offensively, we have to keep drives alive. We have to get first downs and move the sticks when we're in third down situations. And we get to the red zone, we've got to score points. We had a situation last Saturday where at the end of the first half. We missed out on opportunities to get some points, and we just can't do that against a team like New Mexico. Time of possession is important to them. We got to keep their offense off the field, and we do that by moving the sticks. And then when we get opportunities, we got to score points. But it's about us. It's about our execution. It's about our attitude and our approach to the game, and going out and executing our offense and defense the way that needs to be executed, and playing better on special teams too.
Coach, good luck this week.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Looking forward to another home game. Hoping to see a big crowd with a lot of energy in the stadium. And again, we're just excited to watch your team go out and compete again. And every chance we get to do that, it's an opportunity to show that we're getting better and we're playing the game the way it needs to be played.
Good luck, Coach. Can't wait.
Thank you, Eric.
Eric, good job this week, bud. We'll see you next week.
Sounds good.
Want to thank our friends at RVision, Tim DeMartin, Colin Osborne, doing a phenomenal job from Rutgers Sports Information, Jimmy Gill and Hasim Phillips, and Paul Schrager, our producer and engineer on site. Once again, it's 12 noon kick this week at High Point Solution Stadium. Rutgers facing New Mexico as the Scarlet Knights go for their second win of the 2016 season. For our entire crew, this is Chris Carlin speaking. We'll see you at High Point Solution Stadium this coming Saturday and back here next Wednesday night at Quaker Steak and Lube in Edison on Route 1 for the Chris Ash Show. Have a good rest of your week, everybody.
You've been listening to The Chris Ash Show on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. The Chris Ash Show has been brought to you by Join us throughout the season from Quaker Steak and Lube on US 1 in Edison to hear from the head football coach of the Scarlet Knights. The Chris Ash Show is an exclusive presentation of IMG, America's home for college sports.